Okay. So bell ringer for today, we got describe what a longitudinal, cross-sectional, and cohort sequential study is, and give examples of each. Yesterday, I asked you before you left to think of some examples of these types of studies. Tomorrow? Oh, nice. You at home? All right. Brady, tournaments tomorrow. Excited to hear it.
Yeah.
He's okay.
It's large. Not small.
Andrew, you afraid of bugs? No.
I am.
No.
I was like a freedom walker.
Oh, yeah. That's what I can find it. You write it down. I won't be able to put it in until like, so if you write it down or email me, then I can get it go. Same with this class though too. Okay. You know if Gage is here today? Gage Diver? Yeah. Okay. So I'll have to talk to him then. We done? Okay, one more minute. One more minute. All right, let's get to a longitudinal study. Describe that for me. What does that mean? A longitudinal study. Kiara, go ahead. What's a longitudinal study?
Study over a long
Okay, good. Say self-explanatory. A long period of time. Good job. And I know I gave the example yesterday of developmental stages. Okay, you can apply it to Piaget's if you want, and you can obviously the experimenter, the researcher, he's making observations over a long period of time. So in this formal operational stage, this continues on through the development of that person, or let's just say organism, whatever it might be. So you're jotting down a lot of different observations. You're getting accurate observations for that one specific person or group. So that's a positive, right? That's a positive. All right, you're getting down accurate observations. Okay, it couldn't be skewed because you're only focusing on that one person or that one group for the longevity of the experiment. Okay, it's not changing. You're not stopping and observing someone else or another group. So that's a positive. You got accurate information of one person or one group. What's a negative to a longitudinal study? No, go ahead. Yeah, takes forever, right? You're gonna have to devote really that person's development a whole life for that development, right? That's a lot of time. It's a lot of time. And you come up with an example for this, Allison? You can come up with an example longitudinal study?
Yeah, group of researchers is interested in studying how exercise during middle age might impact cognitive health as well. The researchers hypothesize people are more physically fit and experience cognitive declines.
Awesome. Yeah, good job. So exercise, you're applying exercise to the development of a person and seeing how long, maybe the cognitive development skills are or advanced cognitive development skills are still at that age after all those years of exercise. All right, good job. Good job. No cheat days, right? Right, Christian? No cheat days. All right. Leg day. All right. You do leg days? You sure you lying to me? Oh, okay. All right. All right. What about a cross-sectional study? What's that? What's a cross-sectional study? Raven, what do you have for a cross-sectional study?
Study of a representative sample at one point in time.
Yeah, good job. Good job. So you're looking at a representative sample of, let's say, individuals, let's say, of people. I talked about developmental stages. You're going to see someone, a person, observe them at their sensory motor stage, maybe at their pre-operational stage, concrete and formal, all at one time. Okay, all the observations are being performed at one time of different participants in those age brackets. Does that make sense? Okay, and what are some pros to this? A cross sectional study. Raven, what are some pros?
Doesn't take as long or
Yeah.
much money.
Yeah, you're gathering all the information all at once. Done. Right? Done. What about some negative aspects of a cross sectional study? Christian? Okay, all right. Yeah, so you're not going to gain as much, obviously fulfilled or detailed observations. You're only doing it at one given moment, one given time. You're not seeing the development of that one person or one group over, let's say, 20 years, right? Okay, you're gathering it just at one moment. And we all know everybody's different. All groups are different. So there could be a lot of skewed data depending on the development of that one person or group. All right, good. And what example you come up with a cross-sectional study? Hadley? Okay, all right, good job, good job. So cancer amongst different groups, different people amongst these age brackets. That's a good one. Good. All right, last one, cohort sequential. What is a cohort sequential study? Noah? Okay, good job. So it's not as long as a longitudinal study. It's almost like a mix between both of this here. We're studying different groups, different people, right, at that certain age bracket for a short period of time. It's not at one given moment like a cross-sectional. It's not as long as a longitudinal study, but you might study for 2-3 years, right? Given the observations there, you're going to gather those observations. And what are some benefits to a cohort sequential study? What do you think? No? Or some benefits to it?
It's super.
Okay, yeah, it's not super long, right? It's still giving some more time than what a cross-sectional study would present, but for the most part, it's not as long as longitudinal study. So it's like maybe 2-3 years. Okay, you're studying different participants, different people or groups. Okay, and what about negative aspects of a cohort sequential? Brady, what are some negative aspects of a cohort sequential? Yeah, not as much information as a longitudinal study. Okay, obviously a little bit more than a cross-sectional, but you won't get as much detailed information about that one specific person or group for the longevity of whatever you're trying to study. And what example do you come up with for cohort sequential? Raven, do you have one?
I think I got one. This one was one of the hardest ones to find.
It was, yeah.
It was a study of women's health from women born in different decades
Oh.
over a period of time.
I like that
So
one.
it was like women born between 1950s and 60s, then 60s and 70s, and then it was like a study of their health and then one group separate.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. So you're studying over different decades of especially what they're presented to during that time, during those decades, maybe in the 50s or 60s, maybe smoking cigarettes a little bit more. Who knows, right? Who knows? Who knows? Now it's all about vaping, I guess, juuling. All right, good job, good job. Is there any questions on those 3 studies? I know I kind of zipped through it pretty fast yesterday, but it's pretty self-explanatory and some of the examples that you guys can come up with. Good job on the examples. I like them. Good work. Good work. All right, terms for today, just 2 of them. We'll talk about correlations more next week, I think. We got correlation study and a survey. That's it. Those 2 at the bottom. So correlational study. Fix that. Correlational study and a survey. I swear, every time I look at the clock, it's always at 9:11. Isn't that weird? Does that happen to anybody else in here? Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's like, oh no. What's going on? Like the Hershey Bears, Allison? I haven't been at a game for a while, but the last one I was at, there's a huge fight. It's pretty cool. Pretty much, yeah. Almost every Hershey Bear.
Hershey Bears or any
What's that?
not just Hershey Bears, but like any competition.
Yeah. I can see what you're saying. Well, the Penguins, they don't fight too much. Sidney Crosby, he's boys. Penguins. Sidney Crosby? He's not a fighter. He's a scorer. Now Ovechkin with the cap. Oh man. What a hammer. Oh, what's up? Oh my gosh, what are you trying to do? Break down the whole building here. All right, we went over to Bellringer. I guess you guys can just watch the video then, that one. And then get that Bellringer. 2 terms for today, just correlational study. And a survey. We're just gonna go over surveys. You guys didn't want to lift yesterday after school. You have to move that out there. You didn't want to lift after school yesterday. Colin was like, oh, we should go to the store. We want to go into the neighborhood. You. Yeah. Right above your head. This eyeball has more information on it. Yeah. Sounds good. All right, so let's go over here. Correlational study. What is it? What do we got? Connor, what do you have for a correlational study? Yeah, good job. So it's the relationship between two variables. You're seeing how they correlate. Make sense? Okay. So with correlational study, a good example might be, well, if the more time you spend practicing, maybe that means you'll have better results on Friday. Okay? Or the more time you spend studying, let's see the correlation between your test grades. Okay, so there's different variables you can maybe obviously look into to see how they correlate, to see how this effect might occur. All right, does that make sense, guys? You're seeing a relationship between two variables. Good example, like I said, you can see the time spent studying and maybe test grades, see how they correlate. Okay, the more you study, obviously your test grades are going to be better. Okay, so, and we'll talk about correlations here soon enough. So negative correlations, positive correlations, and maybe there's no correlations, okay? So we'll mention that a little bit more next week. Okay, I'll come up with some examples for you. And that will definitely be on the test of what a positive correlation is, negative, and maybe there's no correlation between variables. All right, what about a survey? Pretty self-explanatory. Caitlin, what's a survey? Yeah, good job. Good job. So you're gathering information, gathering data. So I was going to have you do a study, do a experiment of your own. And the way you're going to gather this information through surveys. And now you have Google Forms, which is a nice way to collect data, pretty easy. And it shows your data right like that in the nice charts, nice examples. And it shows it pretty representative. And I'll show you examples of that here soon enough. And you guys will have an assignment tonight where you'll create your own survey on Google Forms. It's pretty easy. It's not too hard. And it's a lot better than the old fashioned one. When I was in college, I had to actually go around with slips of paper. Hey, can you take my survey? Can you take my survey? It was really annoying. And what do you think people did with that slip of paper at the cafeteria? Don't get thrown away. It's like, oh man, all right. Oh, and obviously gathering the papers back. And these people coming back with the papers, not so much. So you have to like stand and hover over top. Can you take this real quick? I need to gather this information for my psych class. And Google Forms is a lot easier, right? A lot easier. And as that information is coming back, if you have a multiple choice selection, it'll show it and represent it in different charts. It's pretty nice. It's pretty easy. Like I said, in college, I had to draw my own charts. I had to make my own pie graphs. I had to make my own histograms. It stank. But with Google Forms, it makes it a lot easier. All right, so let's get into that. I'd like you guys to take my survey here on. Well, actually, let me just talk real quick about correlational studies, and then we'll dive into the survey. All right, so real quick, just a couple slides. Like I said, correlational study is just seeing the relationship between two variables. Like I said, it could be a negative effect. It could be a positive effect. It could have no correlation at all. All right, so again, we'll dive into that more next week with certain examples of variables that you'll be tested on. You'll have to see whether or not they are positively correlated or not. So again, we're just seeing the relationship between two variables. Maybe a good example is, well, let's see if wearing masks in public actually prevents COVID. Well, have we seen any studies on it? Not really, but anyway, to avoid that, we'll just say some other variables. We'll say some other relationships of these certain things. You could talk about, I don't know, maybe there's a no correlation. Maybe there's a positive correlation with time spent on social media. And maybe your knowledge of politics. Maybe there's a correlation there. Maybe there's a positive. Maybe there's a negative. Maybe there's no correlation whatsoever. So again, you're seeing the relationship between two variables. Okay? Like I said, we'll talk about some positive forms negative, and how it looks like on a graph, and how you can tell the difference. All right, so like I mentioned, surveys is just a way we can gather information pretty quick, right? Whether it is the ranking of a class, maybe it is the, I don't know, the popularity of a song, of a team, of a sport, of food, okay, your preference of food, whatever it might be. So survey is a good way to collect information, collect data, so that you can maybe represent that and show it and express it for a population. Okay, you might be utilizing it for a representative sample to express the rest of the school. So mine, since the merger was big talks for a few years, I figured I'd make a survey on the merger and what colors we should be, what name we should be. All right. I guess you could say what mascot we should choose, right? So I'll have that survey up for you soon enough here after you're done writing this down. But everybody should know what a survey is. Like I mentioned, you could perform a survey in multiple different ways. The easy way, I think, is multiple choice. So you're guiding the person taking the survey to select one choice, okay, or multiple choice, obviously, that you can represent your data pretty easy. So you're restricting the answer that participant's going to select. Does that make sense? If you have a short answer, you could get multiple different responses. You could get responses that are just totally out there, that it's really hard to represent your data or show your data in a respected way. Okay, so when you're gathering your data, if it's a short answer, the responses might be all over the place. But with multiple choice, you're directing your participants of that survey to one selected answer that you can gather pretty easy. And I'll explain that here soon when I show, obviously, the responses from the survey. The way you word surveys is also very important. Okay, so with our surveys, make sure that you're wording it correctly, that you're guiding or priming, right? Remember priming, that term we talked about? You're priming the participant of that survey to select a response that you're looking to gather, okay? So priming definitely falls in the way, falls into place when we're trying to collect data and how we're trying to form our questions for our surveys. That makes sense? So throw another vocab term that we talked about in the beginning of the chapter towards the end. Look at that, pretty cool. All right, is everybody good with that? All right, so let's get to the survey now. Here's mine, like I said, on the merger. Past couple of years that we talked about. I'm gonna get to the module and publish it for you. Survey. So I'd like you to take the survey now. This is what it looks like. Okay. You should be able to access it by just clicking on the link and just take the survey. As you can see, there's multiple choice, right? And at the bottom, there's short answer of the same questions. This is just to show my point of, obviously, when you're collecting the information, it's a lot harder to represent that data if it's short answer, right? Because you can get responses all over the place. Can everybody access it? All right, cool. So just take the survey now, and I'll show you the responses, show you exactly how to utilize Google Forms to help you with creating a survey. What's up? Where is it? I see it's bothering you.
Well, it's not bad. It's just like it's because of your lunch.
My lunch. I have a lunch box with a zipper on. Where is it at? Here. Uh-oh.
It's not that hard.
Oh, I got it. Should I throw them out or should I kill them?
No.
Maybe I can show them. Let's see this screen fall out now. Yeah. All right, he's gone, Keon. You okay? Oh, never mind. He's back. There, he's gone. How's the survey going?
20, same question, 20.
I just described that. So when you have the short answer, your responses could be whatever you want. It gives you the freedom of choosing. Let's say you want to do something different than the multiple choice. Great. Other colors, other mascot name, or other name for the school. But at the same time, it's harder to gather all that information because it takes a lot longer to represent that than, let's say, what you're presenting. Does that make sense? brain's really roaming around over here, Kiara. You know that? Jeez. So we finished up. We still working here. Oh. Let's see what responses I got so far. I got 4 or 5. Whew, we're getting there. I like seeing some of these responses. They're pretty funny. Seven, 8. Got a few more yet. A few more. I wonder if anybody responded with polka dots for a color. I usually get that once a year. Or pink. 11. And 2 more yet. 2 more here. What, do you respond something funny?
No.
One more. Perfect. Okay. So here are your responses. Once you create a Google form, which I'll show you how to do that, you can see the responses and you can see how it represents the data pretty well. Like I mentioned before, when I was in college, I had to collect it myself through paper and pencil. And I had to create my own pie charts. I had to create my own histogram. It was a lot of work. Luckily, Google Classroom and technology, oh my gosh, it's so nice and easy to use. So you just click on responses and it really gathers the data for you. Already just like that, no problem, no problem. So let's see what we got here. It looks pretty even. All right, so black, gold, and white, 33%, and along with black, maroon, and white. Who said black, gold, and white in here? Or do you want to be Halifax, huh? What, are you kidding? We already have those colors right down the road. Okay, all right, okay. All right, so there's colors. Like I said, guys, it shows it pretty well. These Google Forms does a really good job at expressing the data and showing it instantly. Snap the finger. Mascot, oh, let's see what we got here. Trojans, okay, yep, keep it Trojans. I like that. The Warriors, that looks pretty cool. You know, that's right up there with Trojans. The Outlaws would be pretty cool, I think, too, or the Rebels. Oh man, look out, guns a-blazing. So Trojans wins that one along with, oh, it's a tie between black, maroon, and white and black, gold, and white. All right, so name. Let's see the name here. Upper Dauphin Area School District. That makes sense, right? There's a Central Dauphin. There's a Lower Dauphin. Makes sense. What's the next one? Northern Dauphin County School District. Okay, all right. But that goes against what we already have with Central Dauphin and Lower Dauphin. But whatever. So anyway, here's what I was saying with the short answer. You have all these different responses here that you got to collect, and it really could be time consuming. It take a lot of time, obviously, for you to collect that data and show exactly which one wins. This one here, it says what? Black, orange, and white receive the most votes. Okay, with 2. All right. Mascot, Trojans clearly wins. Warriors, oh, there's more war. Okay, there's an S at the end, lowercase. Trojan with arrows. Who put that one down there? Kiara, what? Do you like arrows or something? Bow and arrow? Okay, yeah, you're right. All right. Okay, all right. So name. Northern Dauphin. Okay, Upper Dauphin. Any other crazy ones here? Miller's Dauphin. All right, yeah. Dauphininois County. All right, okay. So you guys see, you understand how this Google Forms really represents that data pretty quick and easy. And like I mentioned with multiple choice, you can guide or prime your the people taking your survey to the answer you would want, and that you could represent pretty easy. With short answer, it takes quite a bit of time here. All right, so with that being said, you guys can create your own here. So you just go to Google Forms. You guys know how to do that. You know how to create a Google form. So I'll bring up Google quick and you can see how I do that. So you're just gonna go to your account here and you see the bars up here, it's like, and right here, it says Google Apps. So you just access Google. You have to be signed into your Gmail, your school Gmail. You hit Google Apps, brings it down, you go to Forms. Okay, you click on Forms and you can create your own. Okay, so you just create your own. And it comes up right away. You can title the survey whatever you want. And obviously you can put a description there if you'd like. And then you just roll through it. I like to keep it multiple choice. Like I said, it's easier to collect the data that way. So I prefer you guys just to have multiple choice. So I like you, this is the assignment for today. It's due tomorrow, and we'll have these surveys at the beginning of class tomorrow. I like you to create your own survey, okay? And it could be really on anything. It has to be something though that everybody has a response for. So Andrew, if you talk about your favorite tractor, not many people know about tractors, right? International Harvester, or New Holland, or the Mason Ferguson, or I don't know, the John Deere. I don't know if Cub Cadet has like a huge, large tractor in there. Not anymore, okay. All right, yeah, okay. So anyway, you understand what we're doing here? You can decorate it too with this little customized theme. You can make it really whatever theme you'd like. You can choose an image for the top, make it real pretty. You can go to settings, set up the settings how you'd like. Obviously, I just try to make it not a quiz. Don't make it a quiz because then it will compile your data into a different fashion. But if you just make it into a survey, it'd be easy to do. All right, you guys good? Know what we're doing? So create a survey for tomorrow. How about 5 questions? Okay, come up with 5 questions and we will present those tomorrow. So when you're done with it, just attach it to the assignment. Okay, submit it to the assignment so everybody can maybe click on it. Or should I make a discussion post? Let me make a discussion post and then we can see all the links to the surveys and you guys can work on them. You can click on them tomorrow. All right, so I'm going to make a discussion post. And I'll show you where to submit those for tomorrow. Make sure you have them done, ready to go for tomorrow. Okay. So go to discussions. Surveys. All right. So I just made the discussion post. You can see that and you can just reply with the link of your survey. Okay. And how about tomorrow we just do try to have obviously everybody complete your survey, attach it to the discussion post. And for you, you have to do 2 other students in the class survey. Okay. Does that work? Awesome. Awesome. So then we can see our results. we can see maybe of our responses to these surveys. If you want to do more, great. Great. How about you do three other? I think 3 would be good. Yeah, there we go. There you go. So you guys know where to attach this then. Discussions, hit surveys, attach it, reply. Okay, you attach your link right to that discussion post. All right, there you go. That's all I got for today. So please use your time wisely. Create your survey. Have fun with it. Make it G-rated, please. I don't want to see